Welcome all y'all out there in Radio Land to the classroom of Professor Percy Pickem's Peerless Pigskin Predictions and Prognostications 101. Professor Percy Pickem, the freight train of pigskin pain and the master of point spread disaster. After much cogitation and coin flipping, the old professor has carefully prepared his lesson plan, and he's here with his weekly lecture on gridiron glory and his prodigious Pickem Pigskin Report. This week, there's a lot of gridiron grit on the schedule, so sharpen your number 2 pencils, get in your seats, open your books, and get ready to take some notes. The old professor's class is now in session.
This is Professor Percy Pickem, welcoming you back as I audaciously address another astoundingly action-packed, academic, artistically advanced, astonishingly awesome assembly of my peerless pigskin predictions and prognostications 101. We had some stupendously spine-chilling, spectacular slugfests in the season openers last week, including some bone-shaking beatdowns and the ever-exciting execution of a 1 second left on the clock desperation Hail Mary pass into the end zone. The old professor has some more good ones for this week, so here we go. Pay attention now. Oregon versus Michigan State. A plentifully powerful Pac-12 quack attack faithfully forms into a fiercely fighting formation to fearlessly flap out of inclement Eugene into the uneasiness of eerie East Lansing, hoping to avoid a 12-gauge gauntlet of gargantuous green and white gladiators. The winged waterfowl will put up a sizable squawk against the spirited Big Ten Spartans, but the 15th-ranked M-Staters won't dawdle as they make the Ducks do a wedgie waddle. Percy's pick, Michigan State. Oregon State versus Michigan. Another Oregon-based squad travels to the mitten-shaped state this Saturday for an industrial-strength doubleheader of Pac-12 Big Ten mayhem, as a buck-toothed bunch of bodacious beavers boldly bound into the voluminous vastness of the Big House to wrangle with a wealth of well-built wolverines. The semi-aquatic broad-tailed rodents will try to dam up the wing-helmeted weasels, but won't be able to gnaw their way out of the Ann Arbor ambushes. Percy's pick, Michigan. LSU versus Mississippi State. A beastly Baton Rouge battalion of brutish Bayou Bengals brashly board their Pirogue boats to cautiously canoe into a crowded cowbell canal to collide with a colossal collection of carnivorous canines. The maroon and white will put up a whale of a fight for the overall-clad crowd of bell ringers, but the 14th-ranked rapscallions of Red Stick will claim high ground in the Bullytown Dog Pound. Percy's pick, LSU. Notre Dame versus Virginia. A stout-hearted selection of spunky sportsmen steadily steam out of spiritual South Bend to courageously contend with a cavalcade of cantankerous cavaliers in captivating Charlottesville. The ACC Wahoo Warriors purposely plan to impolitely plunder the priceless pot of gold at the end of the Little Leaping Leprechaun's rainbow, but the 11th-ranked group of Gippers will gyrate to goal line glory. Percy's pick, Notre Dame. Kentucky versus South Carolina. A calamitous coalition of undomesticated kitty cats screech and scratch out of their old Kentucky home to collide with a barnyard-strutting, spurious squad of Columbia cockadoodle-doos this Saturday. It's going to be a sensational SEC hissy fit between the fuzzy felines and the cocky cluckers, but the bluegrass tabby cats won't have enough lives to survive. Percy's pick, South Carolina. Tulane versus Georgia Tech. A gallant group of gutsy Garden District greenies gamely gallivant out of the Big Easy, scheming to seriously swat a swarming squadron of hazardous hot Atlanta Yellow Jackets. The American Conference Collegiate Citizens of Superdome City would love nothing more than to put a bountiful bunch of Bourbon Street zingers into the yellow-striped tails of the Peach Tree Stingers. But the strength of their swat won't be doodly squat. Percy's pick, the Rambling Rick from Georgia Tech. Well, the old professor's throat is getting a mite scratchy, so let's take us a very short water break so I can wet my whistle. Nothing like a good old glass of ice water. But don't you go away now, because I'll be right back.
Southern artist Larry Womble has a collection of art prints from your favorite college towns. Visit LarryWomble.com to view the array of prints and place an order for yourself or as a special gift. LarryWomble.com.
This is Professor Percy Pickem. Each week, my peerless pigskin predictions are broadcast on the best radio stations in America, like our good bluegrass friends at WBRT AM 1320 in Lebanon Junction, Kentucky, and WUBR AM 910 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, bungalow of the Bayou Bengals. Laissez le bon temps rouler. Now back to my peerless prognostications. Oklahoma versus Tennessee. An ornery outfit of oversized Okies hitch up the horses to their Sooner schooner to wagon train their way to the glittering glare of Knox Vegas on the Big Orange banks of the Tennessee. The 19th-ranked bombastic Big 12 Boomers will stick a serious squeeze on the 25th-ranked SEC Citrus competitors, but the determined Dust Bowlers will wind up as a rocky-top tangled mess of dust bunnies. Percy's pick, and a scorcher in the orchard, Tennessee. Iowa versus Iowa State. Hold on to your John Deere farming caps, boys, 'cause it's party time in the Corn Belt as the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Trophy is at stake. The Big Ten ball-playing boys of Iowa City crank their Hawkeye combines down a 130-mile-long turn roll of tall stalks into the whirlwind wonder of Ames for a whole kernel clash with a Big 12 cylindrical cluster of circulating cyclones. It's going to be a heavy crop of Jiffy Pop, with the Hawkeyes shucking the corn and the Cyclones getting left holding the rough end of the cob. Percy's pick, crank up the polka band, boys, Iowa. South Florida versus Florida State. A teeming troop of stampeding El Toros take leave of their temperate Tampa Bay stockade as they travel to the teepee town of sun-tanned Tallahassee to take on a team of hard-tackling Tomahawk Nation tom-tom thumpers. The battling bovines will bravely bring a bunch of bad-tempered ball players, but they will find themselves quickly outnumbered by a terrifying tribe of war-painted 10th-ranked renegades. Percy's pick. No peace pipes around the campfire in this one. Florida State. Georgia versus Vanderbilt. A 9th-ranked brigade of bristling, bone-chomping bulldogs scoot out from between the hedges for a mighty migration into magical Music City for a highfalutin SEC hold-down showdown with the anemic nabobs of Nashville. The cream puff Commodores seem to be as easy to squeeze as an economy-sized roll of Charmin Ultra Soft, and the amazingly agile athletes of Athens should have no trouble wiping the dance floor with the Vandy Softies. Percy's pick, Georgia. Well, I just got a call from the head of the English department, and his students are trying to take notes on all the old professor's adverbs and adjectives, and they need some time to catch up. So let's tentatively take a beautifully brief, breathtaking broadcast break to solemnly support some strikingly slow scholastic students attempting to track the terrific tone of today's luxuriously learned lesson in iconic linguistic elocution. Try to have fun right now and down, boys. I'll be right back. Whether you are tuned in on Professor Percy Pickem's radio network or fabulous Facebook page or right here on our weekly YouTube TV broadcast, we hope you get a kick out of the old professor's peerless program. We thank you so much for listening and would sincerely appreciate you telling all your friends and acquaintances about us. Help us spread the word. Now let's get back to the show. Well, with those games, it looks like yet another exciting week of college football is in store, but we're not finished yet. So let's get to the old professor's fearless pigskin quick picks and pronto prognostications. Kansas State puts away UTSA. Texas Tech topples UTEP. Ohio State out Hoolers Hawaii. Auburn jacks up Jacksonville State. Boise State brings BYU backbound. Missouri aggravates Arkansas State. Memphis knocks out Kansas. Minnesota climbs over Colorado State. Texas A&M bounces Ball State. TCU stomps Stephen F. Austin. Connecticut assaults Army. Clemson hikes down Appalachian State. Florida beats East Carolina. UCLA blackjacks UNLV. Texas steams Rice. Southern Miss outlasts Austin Peay. Virginia Tech flummoxes Furman. Arkansas trashes Toledo. Alabama massacres Middle Tennessee. And Ole Miss puts a deep Dixie dent in Fresno State. Well, that about does it for this week, folks. But we'll be back again next week. Same Percy time, same Percy station. So don't forget to tune us in on the radio, Facebook, and YouTube TV. And don't forget to tell your friends about the show. Just search for Professor Percy Pickem. That's P-I-C-K-E-M, Professor Percy Pickem. So long for now, and thanks so much for listening. And always remember the sage advice from my dear old friend Larry Womble. Play hard when you're hit, and never give up when you're behind.
Professor Percy Pickem is a production of CRM Sports. For more, log on to y'all.com or share the podcast in the iTunes Store.